Next on Arizona 360,
I am sickened that we are in the spotlight for all the wrong reasons.
the media storm putting Arizona's basketball prospects up in the air.
Arizona has a lot of work to do to fix this.
A crash survivor's ongoing push to curb distracted driving in Arizona.
There's so many other families that have lost loved ones that cannot speak out.
And a lesson in lobbying for Arizona's next voting generation.
Politics is a lot more complicated than I originally thought.
Hello and welcome to Arizona 360. I'm Lorraine Rivera. Thank you for joining us. Arizona athletics continues to make national headlines with most of the attention off the court and on men's basketball coach Sean Miller. Here's a look at how the controversy played out.
I'm outraged by the media statements that have been made and the acceptance by many that these statements were true.
On Thursday, Sean Miller denied and condemned reports about illicit recruiting methods first published by ESPN.
Contrary to what has been written this past week, we do our very best to run a clean program at the University of Arizona.
All part of a saga going back to September when an FBI investigation into former assistant coach Emmanuel Book Richardson became public after agents arrested him in Tucson for charges that include solicitation of bribes and conspiracy to commit wire fraud. By January, the University of Arizona fired Richardson only weeks after it severed ties with then football coach Rich Rodriguez over sexual harassment allegations. Then, at the tail end of February,
the FBI investigation into college basketball clearly took a turn yesterday, an interesting turn.
ESPN, citing anonymous sources, reported that FBI wiretaps caught Miller and a sports agent discussing a $100,000 buyout to secure freshman DeAndre Ayton. Soon after, through an attorney, Ayton denied receiving money to attend the U of A. Miller reaffirmed that statement late this week.
I have never discussed with Christian Dawkins paying DeAndre Ayton. Any reporting to the contrary is inaccurate, false, and defamatory.
That same day, the Arizona Board of Regents and U of A President Robbins expressed support for Miller. The coach also returned to the court after missing last Saturday's game against Oregon. For over 25 years, Steve Rivera has covered Arizona basketball. We asked how recent events have affected the program's legacy.
Well, history, I think, won't be changed a whole heck of a lot in the long scheme. In the recent scheme, most trying times now, it's taken a damage. It's taken a damage to the brand of the UA basketball program. I think everywhere they go and where they've gone already, it's been tough for the kids to hear these words of cheater or whatever you want to word, whatever words they use. Legacy is a long word to use for down the road, but it's going to be tough when they play in the tournament.
This is a college town. Arizona fans needed to hear what Sean Miller said this week. How important is that right now?
No question. I think that was the biggest statement. Whatever he said, and obviously, like I said earlier in the week for somewhere else, that I think 85 to 90% of the people in town believe in him, trust him, and now they finally got the word that go Sean, go get him. And the other 10% before this were kind of saying, okay, we have enough evidence, you can go now. I think the Wildcat Nation is probably closer to 95% believe in him now because he was so adamant and direct in his statement that they'll believe what he says, and he believes what he says.
During this 1 week of saga and scandal, though, we lost recruits.
You lost a recruit, yes, Sharif O'Neal, Shaquille O'Neal's son. He decommitted, and then now he's committed to UCLA. I don't think that's going to change because Sean came out publicly for the first time since all this started a week ago. All it did was bring him out in the public to say that he's been accused of something he did not do.
The Regents, the university president, Dr. Robbins, they say they stand behind Sean Miller. That goes a long way.
Well, it helps support his cause. It was surprising in the way that came out that with Miller coming out first and not the board saying that, and then Miller saying, I'm going to continue. But either or, it's fact that he's going to be back.
Sean Miller addressed the media today and how this really ignited a firestorm, and there were a lot of inconsistencies and untruths that were reported. How does the media recover from something like this?
I don't know if it needs to recover. It's funny because ESPN has already gone on record shortly after his press conference to say that he, or that it stands by its story. So you have two big-time entities saying you're factually incorrect, and one saying, no, we're not.
There's still a cloud of uncertainty, though, that surrounds Arizona athletics.
Correct, no question about that. This was an issue, and it's still an issue, even though Miller came out today. The football program with Rich Rodriguez and all his issues over the last 2-3 years. The track program, who has a coach who's now, I guess, going to be under trial pretty soon. The Elliott Pitts incident a couple years ago. It's ongoing, and we'll see how they handle it. They haven't really handled it a whole heck of a lot publicly. It's a story to be continued as the world turns.
Drive almost anywhere in the country, and there's likely a state law on the books that bans some form of texting while driving, unless you're in Montana or Arizona. While some cities and counties have local ordinances, no statewide ban exists. A bill to change that is currently making its way through the legislature. SB 1261 from Democratic State Senator Steve Farley and Republican State Senator Karen Fann bans drivers from reading, writing, or sending text messages unless the car is stopped. There are some exceptions, but if it leads to the death or injury of another person, penalties include a Class 2 misdemeanor and a fine up to $4,000. The full Senate still needs to take up this measure. One of its biggest advocates is Brendan Lyons. In 2013, he was nearly killed by a distracted driver while riding his bike with his girlfriend. A few years ago, he shared his story with Metro Week.
I do know that a distracted motorist at 45 miles an hour struck us from behind as we were in the bike lane.
911. Oh, my car just swerved and I accidentally hit 2 bikers.
Woke up a few days later in a hospital bed. I sustained 6 fractured vertebrae and a fractured pelvis on both sides. Took me away from my dream career as a firefighter.
Lyons has since recovered and forgiven the driver who hit him. The 33-year-old continues to push for legislation aimed at reducing distracted driving. We got an update on those efforts.
So I'm the executive director of Look Save a Life, and we try to raise awareness through educating high school students, billboards, ad campaigns, messages of awareness to stay off your phone. A moment's distraction can be a lifetime of regret. And some of the other efforts is as an individual, not as a nonprofit, but as an individual, we go to elected officials and plea that, hey, this is tragic, this is unavoidable, this is about saving lives, this should not be about public policy. And oftentimes politics comes in the way of trying to create efforts like this. But year after year since that incident in 2013, we've been approaching trying to push bills through that would prohibit or ban texting while driving at the state level. And year after year that fails to get adopted. Looking at that and seeing these failed attempts, we look locally, and now you have the city of Tucson, Pima County, and the town of Oro Valley, all with a primary offense, hands-free ordinance.
Why do you suppose Arizona is one of the few states statewide that continues not to have some sort of ban in place?
I think it's no secret that politics comes into play, and we are a conservative state. What gives me hope is that most recently, the state of Texas adopted a texting while driving prohibition, which is the exact same language that we have as a bill proposed before the Arizona legislature today. So unfortunately, people think that we already have laws on the books to prohibit distracted driving, and I argue, what are those? Because reckless driving is egregious, and just for simply being on your phone, you're not going to get pulled over for reckless driving. DPS started citing for speed not reasonable and prudent, in that it's not reasonable or prudent to go any speed if you're distracted behind the wheel. But once again, I think this comes down to that's vague language. It may or may not hold up in court. That requires education on law enforcement, and so we really don't have defined distracted driving laws on the books.
We often take our cell phones in our vehicles for granted. We think we can multitask, it's a quick glance, it's something that, many of us are guilty of doing.
Right.
But this is a real life changer.
Right. So I define distracted driving as anything that takes your eyes off the road, hands off the wheel, and mind off of driving. And this is absolutely avoidable once again. But the general public believe that, hey, this won't happen to me. And the very fact of the matter is it doesn't happen to you until it happens to you. And then you've lost a loved one. Then you've hit or killed somebody. And then it's too late. So yeah, sure, you can be on your phone 95% of the time, but then it's that one time that you look down and you impact your life or somebody else's.
During the interview, you said you're one of those faces of this, but there are others that we'll never get to meet.
So many. I'm very fortunate alive to be here to speak with you, Lorraine, but Once again, there's so many other families that have lost loved ones that cannot speak out. The individual can't speak out. They're no longer with us, and that's the most tragic.
I know you've moved on to advocacy work, but how has your life really changed since this? Are you still a firefighter and a cyclist?
All right, so no, I've taken my, I'm no longer a firefighter. I still love to ride my bike, and but the truth of the matter is this has changed my life to want to create change in a public effort, change policy, and so today I'm fortunate to be a University of Arizona student pursuing my master's in public administration. So hopefully I can make more of an impact in the world.
To understand how effective legislation can be at deterring distracted driving, we turn to attorney Peter Akmajian. He specializes in personal injury and wrongful death suits and explained what steps are taken to prove distracted driving is to blame.
The statistics are striking. The Federal Motor Vehicle Transport Agency that regulates truck drivers says that you're 6 times more likely to have an accident if you're using your cell phone and or texting, manually while driving. You, on average, according to their studies, will spend 3.6 seconds looking at your phone while you're driving as opposed to looking at the road. And in 3.6 seconds, anything can happen.
These are hard cases, though, to prove.
Well, so in order to prove that somebody was distracted by a cell phone, you have to have some kind of evidence, either eyewitness testimony, somebody saw them doing that, they could admit it, or you could subpoena the phone records and tie it in with the timing of the accident and say, aha, you were on the phone at the exact moment of the accident. I think if you're the driver of the car and you don't want the police to look at your phone, you would say that and you would ask for your attorney, and then you would have your attorney work it out with the police or demand a warrant.
Over the years, it is fair to say you have seen cases like this. I mean, is it increasing?
So 2 things. I have seen cases like this. It seems like there's a lot of cases. What I've been reading is that there's been a trend increasing in the last number of years, but with the advent of laws, there has been a sort of a downturn in the last few years. So in California, for example, all handheld devices, cell phones, are prohibited by all drivers. In California, the incidence of use of manual cell phones has gone down, and the statistics are going the right direction in places like that. So these laws have made a difference.
The laws have made a difference. In your opinion, does this make the roads safer?
It probably will take some time for people to get used to the idea, because this is all relatively new. I mean, cell phones have been around for a while, but they've become more and more commonplace, and people have gotten accustomed to using them all the time. And I think they need to get reaccustomed to the idea that no, in the car, it is not safe, and they need to sort of back down from it. And maybe as younger people learn how to drive and are really educated on this, things will get safer going forward.
So what is it about a notification that just can't wait, even while in traffic, in line at the store, or with company? At the U of A Communications Department, Matthew LaPierre studies how smartphones affect our relationships and what happens when we depend on our devices too much. He shared his insight with Arizona 360.
Well, we have to remember that smartphones are new, right? I mean, within the last decade, that they've, Apple releases the iPhone, I think in 2006, 2007. And so it's been very quick. In fact, when we look at smartphones in terms of their adoption, there are very few technologies, media technologies, that we've adopted so quickly. Maybe the television would be one. And so what's happened is that we're just trying to catch up with understanding how do we use them, what are the implications for use, what does use typically look like. So we're kind of on our heels in understanding the phenomenon.
Some of us are slaves to our phone. I mean, it makes a noise, we see an alert, and we just grab it. I mean, it's instantaneous.
Yeah, well, I mean, there is something about stimulus response, right? So that you see that, like, I've been there where I see my phone and it lights up and what's going on there? Oh, got to pick it up. So there's something natural about that.
Is this a generational thing? Because my parents in their 60s I'm going to say this. I see them doing this. They're on their phones. But I also see students around, for example, the U of A campus, myself included, we're all doing this.
Is it a generational thing? It's not, likely only because, of comfort in that technology, right? I mean, when you're talking about a student here at the university who's 21, 22, they've known of smartphones since they've really were aware of technology, but I don't see any real reason to think that over time that there's going to be that much of a difference between a younger person and an older person.
There are some bonuses, though, with smartphones. I mean, they are increasing our capacity to communicate with each other.
And we find that in our research. So I'm working with a student, Ben Custer, here at the university, and we're looking at how smartphone use affects communication in romantic relationships. The more I use my smartphone, the more I text with my partner, right? The more I might shoot off a, hey, how's it going today, right? So that's good. The problem is in smartphone dependency, which I don't want to call addiction because it's not addiction, but it's definitely a psychological reliance or like just an attachment to a device that we find that you communicate less with your partner, it's less affectionate, and that you're actually less happy with your romantic relationship.
You say it's not addiction, it's dependency, but what's going to happen to us in the future?
Well, I think like all technologies, we reach a point of homeostasis, right, where things sort of sort themselves out. When we find problematic use, anything that really sort of impacts public life, things will be done. Like we've seen that with distracted driving, right? Is that, definitely a problem. So what have we done? We've started to institute rules, laws. So when I look into the future, I don't see anything, like I'm not panicked.
In the wake of the school shooting in Parkland, Florida, an emerging storyline has focused on the activism by high school students. Arizona 360 visited a classroom in Tucson where students are lobbying for a change in a different way. Christopher Conover shows us how their lesson in civics goes beyond any textbook or video.
I'm just a bill. Yes, I'm only a bill.
This is how adults, now in their 40s and 50s, like me, learned how a bill becomes a law. But times have changed.
When we left here on Thursday, I had said that HB 2373, sort of the bill that we've been working on and following through the process, was dead because the Appropriations Committee was not going to hear it.
Seniors in teacher Steve Painter's government class at Tucson's Sky Islands High School are getting a first-hand look at how state government works.
Anybody know where he's based, which city?
Instead of reading a book or watching a video about civics, they're lobbying for a bill in the Arizona legislature.
In the conclusion, sort of a call to action, what do you want them to do?
Have them pay less out of pocket.
I don't think before it started that they knew anything about a majority whip or a majority leader or minority leader and what roles they play. So we were going to go into the computer lab where you guys will start banging out these emails.
The bill being championed by the class would give Arizona teachers money to buy classroom supplies.
Obviously, we do have a very serious problem here in our state in terms of funding our teachers.
The bill sponsored by
schools.
Tucson Democrat Kirsten Engel, who came to the school before the start of the legislative session. So the class began writing letters. And there was a trip to the state capitol.
We were actually there for Environmental Day, but while we were up there, we also kind of snuck in the education bills we were working on. It was really heartwarming to know that they look at us and they care.
Initially, not all of the students were on board with the assignment.
I was very skeptical at first because they get thousands of emails every day. Why would they take the time to read some high schooler's email? But after hearing that they took it into consideration, I'm pleasantly surprised, and I am glad to be proven wrong.
The students' efforts paid off for the proposal.
The students really got behind it when they sent some emails out to members of the Education Committee, and prior to that they weren't really interested in hearing the bill in committee, but then once the emails rolled in, they decided to put it on the agenda.
More than lobbying, the class is actually learning about the way a bill becomes a law.
Oh, I didn't know any of the steps to do it, and now I know pretty much all of them, and it's a lot harder than I thought it would be. Never done something like this before, so it was definitely interesting, but I've grown to enjoy it and appreciate it a lot more.
The class learned a tough lesson about legislation when the bill was stuck in committee.
This morning and last night, we worked together to put together a combination package, which was approved today in Cal.
But then it gained new life when another Tucson lawmaker, Republican Todd Clodfelter, amended it onto another proposal. But that did not ensure passage.
You failed to pass House Bill 2377.
That brought on a new letter-writing campaign, this time to get another vote on the bill.
We are lobbying the main people, the majority leader, the minority leader, and the two co-sponsors to ask them to help push everyone to be like, hey, reconsider this bill.
So that looks good. And then the final one is the call to action, right?
I actually do want this to pass. It's not just me wanting to participate in the class. I actually feel like this needs to happen because the teacher, they help build these students up to who they will be. If we can't help them with education, then why do we have the education system?
It's not easy to become a law, is it?
No, but how I hope and pray that I will. But today I am still just a bill.
This assignment was a first for the class, but will become a regular project going forward. The bill students want passed is on hold in the State House. Lawmakers could bring it back for a vote this month. Blending business with culture. A pair of Tucson natives are bringing a new concept to Tucson's South Side. It's one of many projects that offers change to a once struggling community. South 4th Avenue in Tucson is undergoing a transformation. Its newest development, the American Eat Company. The name is a spin-off of the American Meat Company, a longtime butcher shop that closed its doors several years ago. Jesus Bonias and Memo Gallegos are behind the idea, Tucson natives who grew up on the south side of Tucson.
It started with the idea of doing a commissary kitchen at first because we heard there's a huge need for it. We have some friends that have food trucks or whatnot. So let's give them a space where they can sell food inside when the weather's all right, and it just grew from there. And you know, we were always big on local, small business. We love to eat, first of all, you know, nothing like this exists here in Tucson. And yeah, here we are.
It will feature well-known Tucson eateries while giving new ones a place to grow.
Well, avenues came from just growing up eating on the avenues. You know, I believe that all the great foods from the barrios come from the avenues, you know, from 12th Avenue, 6th Avenue, 4th Avenue, and the Great Grande Avenue.
Aaron Cornejo is a cook who knew a food truck or owning a brick-and-mortar business was a long, expensive ways off in his dream of running his own kitchen.
So from here, you know, prep gets done, gets moved over to the your kitchenette, basically ready to execute. That's what it is.
He's a Sunnyside grad who went to culinary school. He's worked in some of the fanciest kitchens in the city. This one is his biggest stage yet.
My signatures are very simple: ground beef tacos, crispy tacos. That's what we are. Deep fried? Deep fried, yeah, in lard. So, you know, just like Mom did. We're gonna do that, and homemade French fries. You know, very simple. We're not doing anything fancy. Not, you know, trying to reinvent the wheel or anything like that. But we're gonna do it right.
A place that blends food and culture, new and old. Crystal Johnson runs Isabella's Ice Cream on 4th Avenue. American Eat is taking her business to a different side of town.
I think it's really exciting. We're really excited about this opportunity. It just felt right. Everything we've done with the business as we've grown it has just kind of happened. And when it feels right, we just kind of jump on it.
That enthusiasm is what Councilman Richard Fimbres says this side of town needs.
I think it offers job opportunities, job training, and also the food opportunities it's going to have. So it does offer a lot of opportunities for our community here. And you know, South Tucson and the city of Tucson have been struggling because of the Great Recession. So this is going to help us get back on the roadway to recovery.
The south and eastern portion of Tucson has experienced what he calls a renaissance of Ward 5. The annexation of hundreds of acres resulting in 7,000 jobs and millions in new revenue, all that in less than 10 years.
2010 when we got the Costco going, then the Walmart came in, And the 4 neighborhoods wanted the Walmart because it had a market in there. And they were missing their market since Lucky's closed on 22nd and Cherry. So these are opportunities, and it's been really good. And then, you know, we got Home Goods coming in with 1,100 employees. FedEx came in with a FedEx hub on South Valencia Way. And then the largest annexations we've had have been in Ward 5. You know, with the Valencia Crossing, Valencia Houghton, those things are happening. There's 650 new homes. So we're trying to bring all these amenities for our citizens down here that to me have been lost and haven't been able to get there in a lot of years.
Knowing the community, honoring its identity is what American Eat Company hopes to do.
We've done about all we can think of to make sure that we're coming in and being a part of this community and not just putting in something that, you know, it's not going to go well with this area. You know, we've been to a few of the neighborhood meetings here and just express what we're doing and making sure that they feel like they're a part of this.
This is a vision between you and one of your best buddies, really just saying, what the heck, let's try it.
Once the idea started flowing, and to bring something like this that's new to Tucson, that's all local, I really feel like Tucson is ready for something like this. And to be able to do it, you know, with my partner and best friend of mine, it's a great feeling. I'm excited about it.
You are that business partner. Tell me why you guys are deciding to do this as 2 buddies who grew up on the South Side.
There's a big need. At the end of the day, you know, there's a need to bring great restaurants and nightlife to the South Side. There's not enough of it. As kids, we would drive, you know, north or east to go eat at the restaurants that weren't on the South Side. It's time to bring those concepts or concepts that are new to the South Side. There's a big demand down here.
You bought American Meat Company, which a lot of people may remember. I mean, is there a historical approach, some tradition you want to keep here?
This was a staple. You know, this was the meat market, you know, for over 60 years. And it took us being here for 16 months to hear stories of people that, you know, passerbys that would walk through the door, say, hey, you know, I was a kid here when my grandmother brought me here, or, you know, we would be here every Sunday for menudo or for chorizo. And, you know, now I can say I know exactly what this place meant to Tucson.
What do you envision this looking like when you're open and running?
You know, it's a place for everyone. You know, this is for Tucson.
That's all for this week. Before we go, a reminder about our coverage of the Me Too movement. We told you about a special broadcast of Frontline Weinstein, examining how Harvey Weinstein allegedly sexually abused dozens of women. If you're watching our show Friday, Frontline is next, followed by the entire 5-part series, Me Too, Now What? Sunday or Monday, viewers can catch Frontline online at azpm.org. If you have any feedback, email us at arizona360@azpm.org. Thank you for joining us. See you next week.